Oh, I see. Is her diary this thing? So we're going back into her diary again? Okay. The reason I said no is because I was like, oh wait, no, I want to check out the diary, but like actually, I don't want to check out the diary if the diary starts that quest. Yeah, so the idea is that for the sword, that fucks them over because of the combination of the two powers. There's two things you can do. One, you can empower the creator side, so it beats the other side, or you could drain the creator side, so the other side wins. And then as long as the two forces aren't clashing within the sword, then the sword shouldn't be fucking them over. But I don't think they're going to try to do that. And then, of course, it's the problem, of course, if you empower the creator side, so it beats the other side. Well, the creator is kind of an asshole, so I don't think making the sword more evil is a good choice.
存じ上げています。黒枝のエージェントですね。そんなに警戒しなくていいよ。お弟子さんに免じて、以前にも言った通り、それは生命圏の一部の力が始まりの主のそれと。これまで三将会の詭弁を聞いてきた皆さんならご存知のはずです。彼らは始まりの主のもたらすものを破壊では。
I mean, that's also a stupid point. Oh, well, but well, if you know anything about the Exalted, they see it as salvation. Yes, but like, what about the suicide cults? What about the suicide cults that drink poison and die because they're going to be saved? You know, salvation. Like, they consider it salvation, and that's why they do it. But in reality, what's actually happening is they're dying or something like that, right? Because they're like, oh, no, we're being saved. We're being turned into ethereals. Ethereals are a higher life form. We're being saved by the creator by having him turn us into ethereals. It's like, yes, but from other people's perspective, you as a person are dying and being transformed into a mindless ethereal. Like, most people wouldn't be consider that salvation. So, you know, having a crazy group of terrorists, using their perspective, probably the smartest. There must be. I don't know the reason, but there must be a reason. Also, that is a little stupid. Oh, there must be a reason behind it. Yes, they're crazy. That's what crazy people say. You know? There could be a reason, but not a logical one. That is true. I mean, to be fair, she does raise a good. She actually raises the most logical points. Is that sure we can bring her back, but Yishuan was only ever able to create the scabbard, and I had thought that maybe the scabbard was effective, and that her memory loss only appeared when she used the Kingling Sword in front of us. But she was saying, no, before she even met us, she was already losing her memories, which is like, oh, well, shit, that's even worse then. Because that means the scabbard that she spent so much time and effort into making is not really helpful and doesn't really work once it's bound to its owner. And they haven't been able to find any method of helping her since, so it's like, that's not good. I mean, the dumb thing is, even if we do trust you, you've already proven that you're kind of an idiot. Because you're like, your basis of this, like, we can trust you, but the basis of your assumptions are just weird, right? You know the crazy group of terrorists that are like doing human experimentation on us and are you know, are trying to turn us into ethereals? Well, they think of the creator as a source of salvation, not destruction. I don't know the reason why, but they do think that. Therefore, there must be something to it. It's like, no, you can think whatever the fuck you want and have no logical basis in it. It could be completely fucking insane. And it could also be completely fucking wrong, too, right? It could be that, yeah, as I said, like, because like this, that's what the Exaltus were the ones who made these sacrifices. And the sacrifices were the things that, like, turned Bringer into a huge fucking ethereal monster, right? Like, that was something that they were doing, and they still consider that salvation, so it's like, you didn't realize, like, what they consider salvation might be something that no one considers salvation. So, you know, since you don't really know what they were trying to do, other than just the platitudes of, oh yeah, it's salvation, it doesn't really tell us much. Also, there's like, one thing we do know, 100% we know, is that when Sarah was messing around with Yahari, right? When Sarah had trapped up Yahari, she had said, because like she was wrapped in a miasma cocoon, she had said the Creator speaks to you along miasma. So clearly, the Creator is very closely linked to miasma, like, which is not a good force. It's a corrupting force. Like, we fucked up, like, you know, it's a corrupting force. It's not a good force by any stretch of the imagination. So trusting and or empowering the Creator is not a good idea.
あの子が陥っている幻の中へと進みます。それについて一つ嘘をついていました。僕が導き手を務められない理由はあなたにとって危険だとお願いします。
わかったよ、釈園さん。
I mean, if that's all we're doing, we're just bringing it to a... I don't know. I think the reason why we're bringing it to a place where the Creator's power is strong is that it can suppress the good parts of the sword so that there's as little backlash as possible as we bring it around. But even still, like, we don't really want to overpower the other force within the sword because that's the good side of the sword and not the asshole Creator part.
時間が欲しい、春子。
Wait, what? Oh. Oh, I thought it's weird. I thought they said we had to go to another location. They said we had to go like deep down where the Creator's power is strong. I thought we were going to a location. I didn't realize this was the thing we were going to use. Whatever, let's do it. Oh, interesting. Was that thing actually glowing the light power? Because, like, realistically, we could also do it the other way around, right? If we knew what the other source of the power was, we could go to a place rich in that. But obviously, if we don't know what it is. Okay, so what's it going to be like? Is it going to be like a mostly white area? Empty? Or is it actually going to be like a... Oh, I see. It's like she's wrapped up in illusions. We have to go find her within it. Oh. That's... easy. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, I thought we were gonna have to, like... Honestly, I thought when they showed her, I thought we were gonna have to, like, have her... Oh, see. It's also, like, stupid. Oh, you'll only be an obstacle stands in her way, not her salvation. Dude, she's fucked already. Like, that's what I find, like, so silly. It's like, oh, you're only gonna be, you know, not her salvation. It's like, dude, she's already fucked. Like she's already basically catatonic. Like, anything we do will be better than her current state. Well, actually, maybe not. I guess if she gets corrupted by the Creator and becomes a force of evil, I guess that would be kind of worse. Oh, interesting. It's a little hexagon-y thing. Or not. So, Dagon. What's the? So is this? Oh, is this the like? Is this the? Interesting. What is that? Yeah, because that was the thing we used to connect, and I did notice like a glowy white energy around it. Oh, interesting. So is this the source of the other power within the sword? That's kind of weird. What the fuck is this thing? Yeah. It looks very alien. So maybe that's what initially happened. Oh, hey, do the rewind thing. Maybe that's what initially happened, is that there was an alien force that came in, and the creator was actually a human trying to fight against that alien force, and he used the evil power of corruption, basically. So they became a warrior of darkness. Oh, I see. Is the memory gonna like disappear now? Yeah. Oh, I thought the force of the power was actually like eroding her soul, so that the memories are actually lost. So it might not be destroying those things; it might be just breaking them apart, so that you can't remember them anymore. But pieces could still exist. Oh, is this where she found the sword? Maybe. Oh, wait, no, it's a star room. Yes, star room. Our eyes gonna glow.
まだ終わりじゃないよ。絶対連れて帰るからね。リンの手、あったかくてこの手を握ってるとなんだか春光は
Oh, interesting. So it is. So the power. I was kind of worried that the power was. I was worried that using the creative power was going to empower the sword to make it like evil, but it seems like it's not that overpowering. So if we can do this, maybe.
しっかり捕まっててね、春光。絶対五感を取り戻して連れ帰るんだから。
Yeah, obviously. What sense do you use for music box? Well, your hearing. So that's presumably how to get her hearing back.
急がなきゃ。次のかけらは。
Oh, I see. I thought they were all in this room.
私はあなたとの映画が見られただけで十分幸せなんだから。長期兵はいつも賑やかだね。春光が元気になったらまた一緒にブラブラしたいな。
What do we fix? I mean, obviously, yes. Music box represents hearing, got it. But how do we fix our sight, right? Like, so, like, one thing, it's like, oh, my glasses. You broke my glasses. Like, could you repair my glasses? If she doesn't have glasses. What could represent her sight? Also, like, well, taste. I mean, taste is easy, right? Food. She's got to bring her food. But like, how do you repair sight when we don't have anything that represents sight? Unless she has like a telescope that we weren't aware of. Yeah, so totally called that. I was like, yeah, we just gotta get our food. Food to taste. I'm just, yeah, curious what the sight will be. Like, how will you restore her sight? Oh, look! I found some osmanthus on the ground. There we go. Perfect cake material. Ground ingredients. Well, at least this wasn't on the ground, too. So you just grind up osmanthus leaves into the fucking thing, really? Oh, we get. Oh, yeah, I forgot about smell. Oh, okay, yeah, of course. Food. Well, I mean, yeah, taste and smell are heavily related. Okay, so let's. We got her touch back, just touching her. We restored hearing, so now it's lost its sight. But then, how the fuck do we do that? Or is it something like go to like the lighthouse? Is it going to locations where she had great sight memory? Like, you know, when we looked at the sunset those 2 times. Is it something like that?
Shunko お手製の金木犀のケーキすっごく美味しかった。また食べたいな。実はあの時砂糖を入れすぎたの。あれって生命剣
Gonna assemble itself in front of us?
この橋なんかおかしいような。気をつけよう。これは幼少の苦しいか疲れたか愛しい。
Yeah, a little ominous. So basically, it seems like it's the creator's power that's bridging the gap, quite literally. And then that's the good power. Now, it is interesting that there was that weird shape that had all the light power. So I'm curious what that's supposed to be. Is it a terrestrial power? Yes, this seems like a creator power, right? This is all evil and dark.
Rin,
Oh, okay, this is how we get our sight back. God damn, that's so annoying. It's like, oh yeah, it's a flash, and because I'm too far away, I'm not dodging in time. Oh, hello there, how's it going?
せん。リン、よかった。また会えて。
Yeah, this is the 2.5 patch 2.5 quest line, so not surprisingly, it's a teensy bit of a spoiler. But if you're super new, it'll probably be a little bit before you ever get to this part.
ごめんなさい。私、どれくらいみんなは無事？お願い、無事って。
Oh, we got her out. Okay.
安心して。
よく戻ってきてくれ。
意外に早いお目覚めだったね。
To a degree, yes. It's not as bad as it used to be, because of the variety of characters. But yeah. But I would say, like, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like, the resistance thing and the weakness and all that shit, that's kind of more for, like, endgame type activities. So, you, as a normal player, won't really be affected too much. But if you're going to be like, oh, well, actually, no, I want to do these super challenging combat encounters, then yeah, you'll need, you flat out need a lot of teams. Yep. You flat out need a lot of teams because, like, one of the endgame modes that refreshes every, like, 2 weeks or so is fighting 3 bosses. And the point of it is you have to get 20,000 points. If you get 20,000 points in each of the 3 bosses, then you get the max rewards. But the issue is, one, it's hard to do 20,000 points worth of damage because it's like you only have 3 minutes to do as much damage as possible. But also, you can't use the same party members in against each of those bosses. So basically, once you use a party against one boss, that party is locked and you can no longer use them for the other 2 bosses. So it's like stuff like that. Obviously, it means it requires you to have 9 built characters. But like for most stuff, like if you want to do Hollow Zero, you just need 1 party. So if you have 1 good party, you're fine, and you can just use that good party. Alice, Jane Doe, Evelyn. Oh, I see. Alice, Jane Doe, and then the other party, Evelyn, Bernice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I would say Bernice works a little better with Jane Doe to a degree. Because the idea is that, well, sure, Alice and Jane are great. They're both, anomaly units that are physical, so they're doing physical anomaly. But you also kind of want to get disorders off as well. So with Bernice in Jane Doe, or even Alice's team, she's able to do off-field pyro damage and pyro anomaly buildup. So that and she doesn't need to be on the field that long. So you put Bernice out, you hold the square button, hold her basic attack button to wind up and put that little flaming dot on the enemy, and then you swap to Jane or Alice and have them do their normal attacks. So Bernice will be constantly filling up the pyro anomaly while your main physical damage dealer will be building up physical. So not only will you be getting, assaults when physical builds up, but you also get the pyro dot filling up trigger disorders as well, which is pretty useful. But either way, I mean, you could still use Alice. The main issue with Alice Jane is Alice and Jane are both on-field DPS. So both of them do all their damage while being on-field. Yeah, my connection is pretty good. But yeah, the main issue is just that, like, Bernice and Evelyn are fine. Because, like, basically, Bernice works with any one of those 3 units, right? Bernice works well with Evelyn, Jane, and Alice. Although I would say Bernice works a little bit better with Alice and Jane, simply because you can get disorders, and Evelyn doesn't really need an anomaly agent. She needs more, like, support to buff her up a little bit. Like, she needs more of a stun unit on her side so that she can get her big attacks during a stun window. So you'd kind of want a stun unit more than Bernice. Bernice would be better in an Alice or Jane team. So you can go all anomaly mastery. And then Bernice works well with Alice and Jane because she's off field. And so she doesn't need to be on the field that often. You just pop her up, hold her square attack, hold her basic attack to do her little spin. Not really. Alice more so. Alice is just very useful. Jane is fine, right? There's not really a synergy between Jane and Alice, but more of a synergy between Alice and another anomaly agents. So the main thing is when Alice is holding her square button to do her 3 charge attack, she will trigger disorders by herself. So even if there are no other elements, she will still trigger disorders, and disorder does a lot of damage. But you can also trigger disorders properly by having 2 elements build up simultaneously, or trigger back to back. So if you have Bernice on the field, or really, if you have Bernice apply her dot by holding square and then swap her off field to someone else, all your attacks will be also triggering fire attack. It will be building up fire anomaly, while the physical anomaly will also be building up because of the Jane or Alice. And then both will build up and you'll get disorders that way. So Alice is generally pretty useful. Like my Alice team is Alice, Yuzuha, and Vivian. And Alice is very, very, very powerful. She's great for farming because you start with her full gauge right at the start. So you can just start a fight with her charged attack and kill the first wave of mobs when you're farming stuff. But Evelyn more needs support. So she needs support units and let's see, standard. Honestly, the standard units aren't really that good. I would say your best bet is just Lycon, kinda, because he's a stun unit. And stun units are very, very useful. Because a good stun unit, because if you don't have a stun unit on your team, it takes forever to get their stun gauge filled up. So having a stun unit on your team is very, very helpful. And Lycon's the only standard banner stun unit you got. They have buffed Grace, but I would say she's not super amazing. She's kind of okay. You could kind of use her in another anomaly teams, but realistically, I just don't think she's that good, even with her buffs. And then the other ones are just like, Nekomata as an attack unit. Attack units generally seem kind of weak. It was only, Evelyn was the first attack unit that actually seemed strong. And they have a buffed Ellen too, so Ellen is now a little better too. But it was kind of crazy that all the units they designated as attackers were always kind of shitty and weak. And the first units that were insanely strong were all anomaly mastery. So when Jane came out, she was insanely strong. Miyabi, Yanagi, Alice, Yuzuha, Vivian, all the anomaly mastery parties are just insanely powerful. And then Evelyn came out, and Evelyn actually is powerful as well. But she was it just took so long. Even Soldier Zero Ambi was kind of weak. Either that or I'm just bad at playing her. But she didn't feel super strong. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I play pretty much every day. So I'm going to be finishing up the story today. Tomorrow I'll probably be on doing some of the events and stuff. But I mean, having Evelyn, Bernice, Alice, and Jane are all good units. So you can't go wrong with them. I'd say it's good because you have 3. Evelyn can be on a team by herself. You can have Evelyn with a support and stun unit. So if you can get... Oh no, Coletta. Coletta's a stun unit. Yeah, if you get Coletta actually works with Evelyn. She's a fire stun unit, so she'd work well with Evelyn. So if you can get Coletta, that'd be good as a free-to-play person to go with Jane, and then you can put Bernice and Alice or Bernice and Jane on the same team. Alice has a little more leeway, so I would say put Bernice and Jane together, and then Alice can be on her own team with other support or anomaly mastery, if you can. That way you have 3 teams, so you could do the harder content. But generally, it's the kind of thing where don't worry too much about it. You'll eventually, as you play the game, you'll get more free pulls, and you'll eventually get more and more characters, and then you'll have more options, and then you'll be able to do that specific bit of content. But most content just needs one party and you're good. And the only thing that like not having a wide variety of characters will hinder is be like the most advanced content where it's like where the levels are when the levels are really high, and so resistances matter, especially when you're timed. So it's like, oh, you have 2 minutes to do this. Yeah, that's where if you don't have the right resistance, if your best team is resistant in that fight, then or resisted by in that fight, then yeah, you might have a hard time. But generally, I wouldn't worry too much. Like, I don't do a lot of the hardest combat stuff. I'm doing this mostly for the story and events and stuff.
何にしても
すまない、春子。兄いろいろと聞きたいだろうけれど。
よし、春子も元気になったし、こんなとこに長居しない方がいい。
先にそれと僕のことはあくまで雲岳さんのみんなに伏せておくよ。
お兄ちゃん、
春子。では。
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to explain what the fuck this thing is. Because we saw it glowing all... We saw it glowing all white, so presumably this has the same source of power as the other part of her sword. But this also seems like it's a machine, right? So did they create... Did they create a being to resist the power of it created? Like, did they create like a machine god? And that's the other source of power? Or is that machine just tied to another being that has the superpower?
どういうことだ。普通に喋ってるぞ。話がち。
どういうこと？ね、あなたたち。
まあいい。任務によう春子。今すぐ。
生命剣を？この剣をどうするつもり？これは雲岳さん。
知るか。その剣を手に入れない限り。
邪魔しないで。私たちには生命剣が。
英飛地区を救いに行く言うんだが、たとえ長騎兵が何言
ってるのよ。長騎兵。
知ったことかと言ってるんだ。誰とも知らん奴らに慈悲をかける。
I think this is a little too on the nose. Really? You have to make him that evil? Most people are not that evil, right? I only care about my missions. Like, really? You don't give a shit about people here? Do you not have family? Do you not? Yeah, exactly. You know? Only a complete loser would... Oh, what the fuck? Where is Zao? I thought we would maybe start with her.
らしくないね。とにかく手を貸そう。
さっさと生命剣を渡せ。さもなくただじゃ済まんぞ。
あんたたちどこから春光の情報を。
大事な情報源を教えるわけないだろ。バカにしてるのか。
ザオちゃんがゲートの中に入ったみたい。追いかけよう。ここにもいない。ザオちゃん。どうしてたんだろう。こんな風にまさかとは思うけど、あいつらに捕まっちゃった。
So I found a little weird is that she rushed in, so I assumed that we were going to start with her. I thought it was going to be a Zhao Guang fight, but then she wasn't part of the fight. I'm like, oh, okay. So my bet.
ザオちゃんは強いし、そう簡単に捕まるとどうしよう。他の人たちの狙いは。落ち着いて。何か方法をか。
付近に信号は検出されませんでした。ザオ様が連れ去られた可能性もありますが、
とにかくあの黒リーンここで見。じゃあ手分けして行動。
Dude, we can't fight. Why are we splitting up?
二人ともいい加減気づいたも良さそうなのにね。
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I assumed that these people, because like the fact that they weren't surprised. It's also kind of weird because like she's part of Krampus. Like she's part of Krampus. Like she could have like shut those guys up, right? And shouldn't you be like judging the people? Like you clearly know that there are people who are trying to steal something that's not theirs and openly admit to not giving a shit about the people of this. Like, aren't you a judge in Krampus? Like, shouldn't you be judging them? Oh, I see. Yeah, so I mean, this is obviously why her personality is so fucked, is because her parents are assholes. Yeah, exactly. Why the fuck would you split up when you literally can't? Hey, it's just the two of us. I can't fight, so I'm completely useless and at risk in this hollow. So I know what we'll do. We'll split up. We'll take the only person who can fight and the person who can't fight and separate them. I do find this weird, though. Like, how young is she supposed to be? I'd understand if she was still super young, right? If she was abandoned at 6 and she's like 10 years old right now, that would be understandable to a degree, right? I always assumed that she was actually like super old, though, right? That this happened to her, warped her personality as a child, but now she's like in her 20s and 30s. But she just acts this way and dresses like this to trick people and fool people into thinking she's much younger and more naive than she is. But I always thought she was older. But this is an incredibly stupid, childish thing to say. Because it's like, like, sure, your life, sucked, right? Your parents are assholes, and it definitely influenced how you view the world. But you had to have seen the good of people. I mean, to be fair, I think probably because of her job, she probably sees far more of the bad in people than she does the good. But, like, it was always super weird when she was like, look, you guys are only this optimistic because you don't know how bad people can get. Like, good, there's no such thing as good people because bad people exist. And it's like, what? No. Well, you just haven't met bad enough people. It's like, look, the reason why we think good people exist is because we've met good people. Meeting bad people, or really bad people, doesn't make the good people not exist all of a sudden. You know? So it is kind of weird, because this is like so, like, I understand her being transactional as part of her job, right? Sure, when she's on the job, she can't just do things for free because of what she represents. But the idea that, like, wait, what? We can get better info on the creator from the mayor? But basically, yeah. So the idea that that she's like this, where it's just like, wait, what? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. To me, I'm just like, I don't quite understand this. Like, yeah, they either have no value to you, but like, like this kind of shit. Like, don't the people? I mean, I guess that's the problem, is that maybe in Krampus, because she has value to Krampus, maybe she just assumes that everyone is nice to her because of her ability, and she doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I do think it's kind of weird. Yeah, it seems weird because, like, it'd be fine if she was like 10. Sure, like the mentality she has, if she was 10, would make total sense, right? She got scarred as a child and she hasn't seen enough of the world and kind of like grown and matured past that initial scar. But like at this point, wasn't she supposed to be super old, or at least older than she appears? So it's like, you'd think in 20 and 30 years old, you'd kind of maybe that's it. Maybe she just became more and more jaded, and just has not really met true friends or people who truly cared about her, which just kind of reinforced her own opinion. But even still, it's also kind of like stupid, because what she did was essentially like, oh, okay, you don't need me anymore, I'm going to hide. But it's what it appears to be is just a child throwing a tantrum, right? Oh, I guess they don't need me, I'm going to go hide, to try to like get them to chase after her, to prove how much they care for her, which is like, that's such a child thing to do.
どういたしまして。前から聞きたかったんだけど、お互いの利益を確かめもしないうちから一方通行で価値と利益は
Yeah. This, of course, is incredibly stupid, right? Value and profit, that's the only foundation between people. What? Like, I understand that she, was abandoned as a child, so it's really hard for her to believe in the relationship between a parent and child. But, like, do you not see children? Do you not see parents? Like, you've lived in the world for a while. Like, clearly there are lots of parent-child relationships that are actually good, where the parent is very selfless and cares for the child. Like, there is no value and profit in raising a child for the most part. In fact, you lose money. You could argue that, oh, well, no, you're only doing it so that they'll take care of you in your old age. So that's the value they have, perhaps. But even then, it's kind of a weak argument. It's like, no, you marry people. You don't start a relationship transactionally, right? You don't get married as part of a transaction for the most part. That does actually exist, but like it's not common usually. But yeah, it's not common for people to only marry for transactional benefit, right? Relationships are inherently not value and profit oriented. It's like, yeah, and that's the thing, she's taking yes, I would say friendships are far more transactional than anything. Friendships and acquaintances, business, sure, that's definitely transactional, especially business. But like saying all relationships, it's like, well, no, not the relationship between a parent and child. Just because your parents treated their relationship with you transactionally doesn't mean that all parents are like this. And it's kind of weird, because like this is the kind of naivety that you would assume from a child. The fact that like you had one bad experience and you're going to say, yes, all parents are like this is kind of stupid. Because like, you literally just saw her brother, sacrifice everything, going along with the creator, all that bullshit for his sister. Clearly no value or profit in him saving his sister, right? But he still sacrificed himself to do so. So like that's what's so dumb about this, is because it's like you literally just interact. I mean, and the fact that these two have been very nice to her anyway, but like the brother who's being hunted by everybody, succumbed to the creator, went along with the Exaltus, all to save his sister, and then when his sister was fucked, showed up in Yunkui Summit in the Suimian Temple, at great risk to himself, to try to help his sister out using what he had knowledge he had gained, right? That alone, it goes outside your idea of transactional relationships. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it sounds like Zhao's family was very much like Hugo's. Hugo lived as a bastard child. The bastard child of his family. And all the, But yeah, but Hugo lived in a very, like, so basically Hugo was fighting against his half-siblings, and basically all the siblings were all fighting to become, like, the next head of, I forget his last name, whatever his last name's family was. And the father was actively encouraging that kind of competition. So it seems like Zhao also kind of had a similar thing.
乾パンを交換してこいってお外に行かせ子供のザオちゃんの足元を見られて持ってるものを全然しょうがないから手ぶらで帰ったら役場そのうちパパだった人がお腹がペコペコで死んじゃいそうなザオちゃんよく見ておけそれでザオちゃん価値がないっていうのは人として見てもザオちゃんが今こうしてここに立ってるのは今でもよく覚えてるよ
That's what I found like weird, right? By her own admissions, since she basically became very incredibly observant, so that she could, extract the most value out of every single transaction. But it's like if you're this observant, you should have clearly seen that not everyone is like your parents, and that there are happy families where children, are treated well by their parents. So it's kind of weird that she's like, yeah, I was cast out. And it's like, yeah, sure. Like, they obviously tailored her experience, tailored her understanding around it. So she's like, yep, you have to, this is what you need to be valued and loved. But it's like, you had to have worked, you had to have seen other, families where their children are just loved unconditionally, but you're just choosing not to see it and be like, yeah, anyway.
ニコニコしながら、なんだか話してくれてありがとう、ザオさん。私とっくにザオさんがすっごく。
But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's the thing is that she does see it, but she's choosing not to observe it, right? She's choosing not to recognize it. She probably sees it happening and then just assumes, oh, there must be something going on. I mean, it's really hard to convince someone of an incorrect idea. It's easier to trick someone than to prove them wrong. It just goes, which is basically saying, yeah, it's easier to fool someone than to actually try to actively convince them that a belief they already have is incorrect. Just because that's how resistant people are to having their minds changed.
感動のさ
How old is she supposed to be? Like, she looks like she's like 10 or something. But then it's hard to say because like she's just mostly a bunny Thyran, so it's like, are all bunny Thyrans like this? Like, we know it's not all of them are like this because there's the game store one, and she's like an adult, an actual adult with like long ears, long bunny ears. So maybe Zhao is still a child. So maybe she's always been smart for a child, but she could still be like super young. I just assumed she was intentionally dressing childish as a means to kind of trick people, as to make them lower their guard. Oh no, I'm just a child. That's why I dress like a child. But is she actually a child?
どうしたの？急に私の。なんか、そうだ。まだちゃんありがとう。あなたがいなかったら。
I mean, I'll bring up the same thing I said yesterday too. Is that okay? Cool, you're back, but it doesn't stop the sword from corrupting you, right? The whole point was that the clashing of the two powers within the sword. Oh, thank you. The clashing of the two powers within the sword is what is eroding her soul. And her soul got eroded, but we were able to help piece it back together. But, like, the sword is still a corrosive thing that's fucking her up. So, like, we didn't actually solve anything. We fixed the symptoms. We put a band-aid on the wound, or, like, we sewed up the wound. Actually, no, maybe not sewed up the wound. Let's see. What's a good analogy? 'Cause she's still... I guess she has a long scar on her arm. We just put a band-aid on it. We're like, there we go. Or maybe something like, she's bleeding, and we just put a tourniquet on it and be like, cool, you're no longer bleeding, problem solved. It's like, well, yeah, but you cut off the blood flow to her arm. It's not a good, great analogy. But basically the point is, we only fix the symptom. The cause, the sword, is still there and still actively fucking her up. So we need a way to stop that from happening.
あの子が何をしてるか。あの子はあんたと、あの子と私よりも素直で、これは欲しい、これは欲しくないって。あの子はけど、もう違う。ずっと拒んでたあの子を今は受け入れられる。
No thanks, I'm not interested.
正真正銘、私たちは一つになったんだって。やっと生命権を手にしたあの日から。
Are they gonna talk about? Are they gonna talk about the fact that the sword is still like super bad? So we didn't fix the sword. The sword is still. Well, so the sword will continue to erode her when she uses it again. Like maybe she pieced herself back up together. So now, so I always likened it to every time she uses the sword, she's poking a hole in the bucket that represents her memory. So this bucket is holding the water, which is her memories, and every time she uses the sword, she's poking a hole in the bucket. So each time she's poking more and more holes, so the memories flow out more and more until the bucket is empty, and then she basically becomes what she was. So if we can assume that what we did was hatch up the bucket and then refill put all the water that had leaked out back into the bucket, then she might be fine right now. She might be in a pristine state, essentially. So as long as she doesn't use the sword, she'll be perfectly fine, because the bucket doesn't have holes and her memories are all back. I'm curious if that's the state she's in, or if all we did is fill the holy bucket, the bucket that still has holes, in with water, so that they're still continuously leaking. I'd assume that we fixed her up and her bucket is fixed, but it doesn't stop the fact that the sword is still actively gonna fuck her up. Oh, okay, cool. This is it has the single exclamation mark when you. Yeah, at some point I should maybe go do the quality hangout events. I never really did them because they were a little tedious. They were a little tedious, and not that much lore in them. But you get rewards for it, so maybe I should just do them all. Should go through and do them all for each character. I did them for a few, but they just weren't super interesting. But maybe at some point I should just go through and just do them to be done with them. Well, so, I mean, she's because her eyesight's fully restored, you know. So I guess it's the kind of thing where it's like, since she's been constantly losing her senses, it's just been so long since she can remember the last time her senses were completely whole. So everything does seem more. Everything seems more unique. But obviously, there was a time when her senses were perfectly fine. But it's it's been many years. And then how do you? Like, no one ever really remembers the vividness of their memories, right? No one remembers literally everything photographically. No, they remember feelings and events, but not specifically how well you could see type shit, and how you don't remember specifically how good something tasted, right? You remember it tasted good, but not you know.
体は何ともないのか？なんともないわよ。リンに聞いてみて。 ったですね、春光ちゃん。
感覚がなかったことの次第を誰かさんに。
Yes, we decided of our own volition to go into the hollow and reconnect her soul with the world. For some reason, like.
リン、春光。
どう？
そういえば師匠、ずっと
ああ、本当はもっと早く着くはずだったんだが。
正確には宗主の行く手を阻む奴が現れたのだ。
足止めですか？
さあな。とことん少し打ち合っただけだが、うつろ狩りに推挙される。
おいおい、お師さんと何者かが我ら音楽さんに因縁をつけようとして。
It's also interesting. It's like, were they intentionally trying to prevent her from showing up because they wanted wanted what we did to Zhao Guang happen? Were they? Because basically, my question is what happened to Zhao Guang still for the sake of that as well? I don't know. Yeah, hard to say. So I'm curious. So did she fight a manifestation of the creator, or is there like another Exaltus who's equally powerful? Because like Sarah lost her mark. Did the creator mark go to someone else within the Exaltus? Either way, we'll see.
フォローでサンブリンガーのその件も合わせてメイフラワー。そうだ。釈縁の少。お兄ち
ゃん。私たちの方は特に
大したものじゃないが、ラマニアンフォローに現れたとは聞いた。まあ気にする。
I mean, yeah, no shit.
私も引き続き調べて。
We've only ever seen him in the Lemnian Hollow. Like, all the shit that we dealt with before when we fought him was all in the Lemnian Hollow. Everything in this patch is revolved around this hollow. Yeah, no shit. That the last place we saw him was also the current place where he's being seen.
何にせよ、春光。ただし、今回事なき。
Why is she taking this so well? Because like she's never like, at least I mean like from what we understood, no one has ever recovered. The second you start losing your memory, it is a downward slope until oblivion, and that's it. You never can recover. So I'm surprised that she's like just so blasé about it. It's like, oh look, you know. I'm surprised that she's so blasé about it. She's like, oh, this thing that's never happened ever in the history of the sword. Oh, that's cool. Glad everything's back to more. Glad everything's good. It's also kind of weird. This is a little suspicious because we were with him, right? Now maybe he decided to like let us go because he knew people were looking for us, and so he's like, well, shit, I can't be seen with you, so let's. Oops. I can't be seen with you, so let's wait until you go back, calm everyone down, and then we can meet. Oh, okay, so it's on the hollow though.
春光、調子は？
大丈夫よ、お兄ちゃん。それで。
お弟子さん。この
大事な姉弟子のために。お兄ちゃん。
春光、僕だってそれよりも僕たちには生命権の契約を解く手段を僕は見つけました。あれが持つ始まりの主の力とのつながりに基づき。春光、すぐに行こう。剣から。
でも契約。
雲岳さんは次の剣士を。
ごめん。
なぜだ。この剣がある限り。
Okay, so yeah, okay, that was my concern. Was that like, wait a minute, like all we did was fix her up, but the sword is still actively corroding her. Like we didn't solve that, but now they're mentioning it. Yeah. Like we just fixed you. Like they didn't stop the sword from being a dick.
そんなことが起きた。
それがどうしたと。僕の妹の命が違う
の。私のことを思ってくれてるのはわかるよ。
何を言ってる。
やめて釈恵さん。春子は。
すみません。取り乱してしまいました。本来ならば二人に生命権を手放さないというなら もはや是非もありません。いいかい、春光。雲岳山、陸甲州、真実を知りたければ僕についてくる。
I don't know. I think what he's going to reveal is that the guy who has always been an asshole is still an asshole, right? Okay, cool. Like, that's the thing. I think it's just going to be like, oh yeah, this guy's a jerk. Yeah, we already knew he was a jerk. Okay, so let's get the kitty headbands. Yeah, I don't know why they were. There used to be stuff you could buy with with the coins, but they removed those. There used to be like some things you could buy every single month, or every single like cycle. I don't know why they removed the things you can buy with coins now. It is kind of weird. So my guess is that. I think Yishuan is fine. I don't think she did anything. I think it was the old dude. I think the old dude was the one who led her to the sword. I think the old dude was the one who manipulated Zhao Guang to get her to be the sword. Remember, he's always been with the wielder of the sword. The sword has to have a wielder. He's the one who's been talking about it the most. So I feel like he was the one who got her to touch it in the first place. Now, I don't see how one asshole just so suddenly makes the entire Suibian Temple, or this entire Yunkui Summit, bad, but whatever.
でこの適当感に戻ってきた。
恥を知るべきなのは
釈炎。そい
文字通りの意味です。新エリート中から罪なき子供たちを探し出し、弟子などとそのような行いが。
お前さん。
今さら取り付けを僕と春光、二人の孤児が幸運にも雲岳山に引き取られた。その幸運とは果たしてお前たちはいつから僕ら兄弟をね、おそらく彼らに起きたことも。
Also, like, weren't her parents part of the Yunkui Summit? So wouldn't it be like wouldn't it be logical for the Yunkui Summit to take care of the disciples, to take care of the children of their disciples? Like, that makes a little sense. But yeah, obviously, who hasn't been speaking? It's the old dude. I knew the old dude was an asshole. But yeah, he's gonna tear away the seven. So, but you found one guy.
お前さんは言ったな。
偶然か。陸講習。お前はあまたとその機会を用意し、僕たちのような選ばれし。
I see. Yeah, I mean, obviously, considering he says this all the time, I'm like, yeah, I got it. So basically, yeah. So this, but I don't see saying, oh yes, we found one asshole in your Yunkui Summit, therefore all of you suck. It's like, what? Like, this isn't. It's not tearing off the sanctimonious mask of the Yunkui Summit. It's tearing off the sanctimonious mask of one asshole.
あなたが苦心して作り上げたという始まりの主が目覚めてしまった以上、生命権の反動はもはやどんな力でも抑え、こうした運命は何もかもあの子が生命権に触れた瞬間からすでに定まっていた。
Well, this is also a stupid point, right? He says the creator has awakened because blah 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 blah. Okay, but the creator just awoke, right? If we assume that the creator awakening was the breaking of the seal that Sarah helped do, Sarah and you were there for, then the scabbard, the sheath has only been ineffective recently. You know, the creator only just awoken. Like, she made the scabbard, she made the sheath before Zhao Guang even touched the sword. So, unless you're saying that the creator has always been awoken, right? The creator has always been awake. Therefore, the sheath never helped ever. Then sure, okay. But...
だが釈炎。
始まりの主が僕の心に踏み入った時、僕それから少々手を回して、哀れな万学先生。あの人は雲岳山の所業を知らず、これほどの規模の関係を陸講習一人で成し遂げられるはずもない。お前の下で密かに動いていた弟子たちに。
I don't know. Like, I do find this a little stupid. You're like, look, this guy did all these things, and the people who followed his orders, they're also bad. Yeah, but like, you realize his order was taking these children. Like, it could be that his orders were innocuous enough. Like, taking in children who are orphaned, that seems like a good thing, right? Just because he, the head guy giving the orders, was doing it for malicious intentions to try to manipulate it, like, that's something. Now, it could be that he could be that he ordered people to create the situations that allowed them to touch the sword, in which case you could say that the order itself would not be so innocuous enough that the disciples couldn't be suspicious, right? But it also is like, this is the head of the Suevian temple. It's like if you're a soldier, right? If a soldier says, if your commander says, okay, there are terrorists in this village, let's go wipe out, we have to go kill them, and you go kill them, and it ends up being not terrorists, and it ends up being just, civilians and shit. Is it your fault as a soldier? You weren't aware that there were just civilians there. You were told that there were terrorists, and you went in and followed orders, right? Like, as long as you didn't go super crazy, like gunning down women and children as they were running away, like that's kind of a dick move, obviously. But you wouldn't really blame the soldiers for that. You'd blame the commander who told his soldiers lies.
この告発を受けてなお虚飾と犠牲による全くそして宗主イーシェンあなた宗主の仕事に追われ門下の弟子たちが何をしているのか知る由もなかったか
I mean, to be fair, right? Your disciples suffering? The disciples were fine. Again, all he did was take in these children and give them the opportunity to touch the sword, and if they didn't resonate with it, nothing would happen. They would just be normal disciples. So they're not suffering. The only one who would suffer would be the one who actually resonated, which was his sister, which she did treat, well. Yeah, obviously he's just reading way too much into all this shit. It's also like stupid. Well, okay, this guy's fucking retarded. It was never birth. Dude, this thing is literally killing me. It's like the very thing that gives you your life purpose. There's so many things that can give life purpose. We don't need an artificial reason like this. Yeah, and this is like, you would have never been this powerful. It's like, okay, well, does she need this power, right? You could argue that, sure, right? Because she has this power, she's able to help people she wouldn't have been able to. So, cool, that's good, that's nice. But dude, just punch this fucker out. This guy's such a piece of shit. Hey, I know I orchestrated the situation to put the sword in your hand, but because of the slight benefit, that's totally worth you dying for it. Yeah, says the guy who loses nothing from letting a child die. Yeah, exactly. You're not the one that's paying the price. And that is the other thing too. I do honestly believe that. I do believe that if he could have taken the sword and resonated with it, he would have and died. I think that's kind of the problem with fanatics like this. He's basically just as fanatical as the Exaltus are. He believes in the sword and the Unqui Summit and honor and all that bullshit as much as the Exaltus believe in the Creator. So much so they're willing to do inhumane acts to further their beliefs.
剣士を羨むのは勝手にしたらいい。だが、この世には英雄になどならず、ただ平穏に個人的な執着などではない。剣士は生命権のため。
And to be fair, he is right. Like, without a keeper, the powers within the sword will slowly cause problems.
聞いていれば二言目には主情とそのうぞうむただ一人の妹が顔も知らぬ何を私の選択は確かに人々を救ったそこまで自分の正しさを過信できていたのならなぜ嘘や隠し事にすがったそうだろう自ら進んで犠牲になるものを探せばいいかつての雲岳さんがそうしていたように正々堂々と生贄を掲げお前たちが言うところの偉業を成し遂げればいいじゃないか
True. I mean, yeah. Like, he was basically just tricking people into doing this, but there would definitely be people who would be willing.
みんな割り込んで。ありがとう、リン。陸老師。
I would just kick Mr. Liu out. Actually, no, I would arrest him. Honestly, I want to kill him, because I'm like, dude, you're such an asshole, you just die. But really, he should be imprisoned. At the very least, for life.
お父さん。
いいよ。確かに生命権の代償を隠し、お主らの特殊な体質を発見したのは。
みんな、ごめんなさい。
春子、平気か？
師匠、お兄ちゃんの心配も。
But yeah, I think her brother's point was saying, oh man, the sword scabbard is useless now that the creator's awoken. It's like, okay, yeah, but the creator only just woke up last patch, right? A few months ago, or a few weeks ago. I'm not sure how much time has technically happened in-game. But like, you're saying, oh well, yeah, your sword scabbard is useless because a few weeks ago it became useless. It's like, okay, but then aren't you kind of implying that it did actually help a little bit up until this point? You know, just because the scabbard is useless now doesn't mean it was useless then. Unless unless the creator has always been awake, right? Unless maybe since the catastrophe 11 years ago, the creator is technically awake, and now the scabbard would not be helpful. So it could be that the scabbard was always useless, but I don't know. It makes it seem like the creator awakening was only the thing that he unsealed. But hard to say. He didn't really properly explain himself in that respect. The way he made it seem was like it's always been useless, but he also tied it to the creator awakening, which one would assume would be the unsealing of it recently. Yeah, like he should definitely go to prison for this shit. You know? But yeah, like him saying, oh yeah, like everyone's aware of it. It's like, so you found one guy and the other people who were following orders and you're just blaming the entire Yunqui summit. It's like, really? So the panda, Jufufu, they're all equally at fault?
こんなところ今すぐ出よう、春子。
ごめんね。でも私、もう
陸の言葉を気にしているのか。何度も。
違うってば。私、子供の頃、街角のお店で食べられる。でも、あれからも我慢できなくて、こっそり何度か買って。
春子。
あの時こっそりケーキをいつまでも守ってもらうわけにもいかないもの。大好きなお菓子を食べて。お腹、私の人生の立派な一部なんだから。ケ
ーキなら好きなだけ食べてくれたらいい。だがそれとこれとは話が違う。
本当に私が死に向かってるかは
分かっているのか。
I mean, to be fair, he kinda, but not really. Like, this isn't like simply just like, oh, well, the world is risky. It's like, yeah, the world is dangerous, sure, but like you're literally holding you're holding a bomb. You're keeping a bomb equipped on you at all times. Like a time bomb that's set to go off. And you're like, well, yeah, the world is risky, so I might as well just leave this time bomb on me. It's like, well, no, the world is risky, but like, it's even more risky if you hold the time bomb, if you carry a time bomb with you at all times.
いつ記憶を、五感を、この世界とのつながりをいつ終わるともしれない。喪失の日々。
だってお兄ちゃん、私、 剣の中で絶え間なく衝突する2つの力も剣艦では
そんなこと。
言ったらお兄ちゃんはもっ一日ごとに確実に終わりが近づいてて、常にそう。でもそれって別にお兄ちゃん言ってたでしょ。それなら逆だ。私はみんなで生命権の苦しみを身をもって知ってるから、次の誰かに同じ絶望を味わう。お兄ちゃんからしたらバカみたいって思うか。
僕はただの凡人だ。だから見知らぬだが、君だからといって諦めはしない。
それなら私が選んだことも運命もお兄ちゃんのごめんねリー。やっぱり妹、本当はお墓まで持ってくつもりだったけど、あの時私は生命圏の夜に一人長期兵ででもあの日はなんでか急に涙が全然止まらなくて、あなたがいたの。オルゴールを直し、あの時の私はあなたにこう聞いた。そしたらあなたは前に進んでみないとわからないこともあるって。でも
あれはただの夢だと思ってたんだけど。
あなたにとってはちょっとした出会い以上のものじゃなく、言葉の力だけじゃない。そしてもう一人の楊春子。でも今は違う。どんなにすごい人でも。だって私は人並みに怖がりなだけじゃなくて、あの子はこの世界より先に死ぬなんて。最初にザオちゃんと取引してラマニアンフォローに入った時は、その次に入った時は大きくなったフォローが今この時。私は運命に従うんじゃなくて、あなたのために急にこんなこと言われて、あなた自身はひょうひょうとしてるのに。とにかく
大丈夫だよ。代わりに大事なことを決めてあげたりはできない。
ごめんね。おやすみリ。
Now it's time for our meanwhile hit the Legion of Doom moment. It's probably gonna be a fine little cutscene to wrap up the patch. Wait, what? Jesus Christ, this patch never fucking ends.
急いでみんなと合流しなきゃ。
Yeah, so the question is, was it that the first expansion was like them breaking another one of the creator seals, and this is the second creator seal being broken? Shit, I should have paused then. I thought it would just be one little final cutscene and that would be it, but it just never ends. Unless, actually, I guess Yishuan is here now, so maybe she'll be able to do something that we weren't able to. maybe the thing that she was fighting came here. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe what she was fighting was part of the creator. So my advice. The Zenless, oh my god, this is the thing! Did I miss anybody? Now that I realize we can actually talk with these people, I'm sure there's no other NPCs. No other playable characters around, so this must be it.
Shakuen. 文学さんのことも、いや、違うな。
そんな。
いいんだ。姉様がいなくなってからというもの、あの剣が憎くて仕方ない一方で、文学さんそうしたジレンマの果てに喧嘩を生み出し、だが結局のところ、あの喧嘩に
あの場でああは言いましたが、多少は機能していたはずです。始まりただこのところは。
Yeah, okay, so let's... Yeah, so exactly, so it was useful. You're blaming her, like, yeah, your sword case was bullshit. It's like, well, no, it was perfectly fine. It was only to the seal that you helped to unleash.
Yeah. 僕も怒りに任せて、心にもない言葉をですが。陸講習
については、私が講師で。
すみませんが。あまり慰めには。
お兄ちゃん。
I mean, you say that, but like, you realize the quote-unquote sacrifices only happened after the catastrophe, and their glory is built off all the stuff before then, right? Their glory was because they went to fight in the catastrophe 11 years ago, you know? Like, Yunkui Summit isn't standing pretty and standing where it is now because of your sister and her ability to use the sword, right? No, it's built after hundreds of years of all the shit they've done and the fight they did 11 years ago where they sacrificed most of their members to save the people, right? That's their glory. So I think that's a little... You're kind of saying, oh, everything you've done has been based on... I mean, to be fair, yeah, sure. Like, but remember, you're talking to the sister of someone who willingly held the sword and saved people using it even at the cost of her own life, right? So maybe, not everyone was a helpless victim who was tricked into bonding with the sword. There are some people who took it up to become a hero and did, So I think him just invalidating their choices is a little bullshit just because you can't accept the fact that someone manipulated your sister into touching it in the first place.
これからの私はこの前ラマニアンフォローに入った時の私でも
シャンコ
語らいはここまでにしてこの先に待ち受けみんなすごく悪い知らせがある
あの時はもう収まったかと思っていたが
その通りだこの異常な宮妻だけでなくつまり我々は最短で異常な宮妻の根源そう遠くないちそして現時点における私の調査によると根源はこの封鎖こそが最優先事項となるわけだがただし公演部隊とりわけ雲岳さんが担う役
市長殿私の無備も異常な宮妻に、
Oh, her blade is the one that's called Tailless. Oh, okay. Because, yeah, I remember Carol mentioned two blades. They said Tailless and the Kingwing Sword. I thought they were talking about the same sword, because I didn't know. I forgot what Miyabi's sword was called. But she was talking about the two swords.
いずれにせよ、フォローの拡張を地帯させるべく。しかし、異常な宮妻が
宮妻が特に活発なエリアならすでにフェアではなく僕春光がやってくれたようにフォローの拡大を遅らせるには
ならばこの場にいる人間で手分けして他のところはともかく最も重要
生命権とラマニアンフォローそして始まりのある現状始まりの主の力を封印でき
僕たちの計算結果から導き出した結論もほぼあまり考えたくはないけれど
私が行く生命圏の力は
春光。
それが現時点。
はい、市長さん。
春光はまだ回復したばかりだ。この子のラマニアンフォローには私が行く。生命圏。
君の心配はわかるが。
だが
何よりも私は自ら行くと決断。また長期兵の守りを固めるには。
Yeah, like if you're able to purify as much as you can, so she only has to use her sword to seal the source, that would be a huge benefit to her as well. If she has to get rid of the flowers as well as all that shit, then... So is this setting up for the next chapter, or is this something we're actually doing as part of this plot patch?
わかった。ではの
幻招待出撃準備完了。それじゃあ広がる闇を断ち切るぞ。始まりが
Oh, I guess I should have gotten a screenshot of that earlier.
長期兵を死守しろ。
I missed the Oval Squad.
この地の安寧のため。
ああ。階段屋としてはクランプスの黒枝だね。
I was kind of hoping for a moment where I could take a screenshot of them without text, but it was the second the text was on the screen the entire time, so I couldn't get around that, unfortunately. And so I missed my shot.
任せてっしょ。
なんと言ってもこれより先は
At the end of the patch? Oh shit, no. God damn, this fucking patch never fucking ends. I thought that was gonna be it. Jesus Christ. I thought, oh no, like, that'll be it. I assumed, like, saving her was gonna be the end of it. So there is one big climactic battle. So I had assumed... Shit. I had assumed that, I had assumed that, like... that because I heard people complaining about it, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's just, like, gonna be... Like, no, there's gonna be, like, no climactic battle, it's just gonna be us fighting against, like, us saving her, and then that would be it. And I'd be like, okay, well, I can understand. But yeah, so I thought it was just going to be saving Zhao Guang, and that was it. And so I was like, okay, that's understandable. Like, why people might be a little upset by that. Because they're like, yeah, sure. Like, you're not getting to, like, I can understand why people would get upset. Oh, yeah, because, like, the previous patch had the big climactic battle. You know, you had to fight against the, the brother who had been corrupted by we had freed the creator, fighting that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's a big battle. And I was kind of thinking that we weren't going to have that for this patch. And like we already had like 2 combat events where we had to go into the Hollow for combat twice. So I thought that was like it. And I thought, oh, okay, we did that, and now it's just going to be us fixing Zhao Guang, and then that would be the end. And then people were like complaining because, oh man, like there was no huge big epic thing or whatever. But I'm like, oh, well, no, it seems like there is actually going to be this huge, big, epic thing. Although, maybe... Oh, wait, fuck, there's Lucia. Fuck, I gotta go find her again. Mainly because she's actually super rare. She doesn't always appear at night, which is kind of annoying. Where does she appear normally? Yeah, let's find her. Because Lucia only seems to appear at midnight, which makes sense because of her character, but it also makes it annoying because she doesn't always appear at midnight. So you can't just cycle through the days and be like, oh yeah, there she is. Every midnight she's, you know, around. It's like, nope, it's like midnight's on like certain days of the week, it seems. which makes it really kind of annoying to find her and boost her trust because she just appears so infrequently. Like other agents will appear all over the other agents will appear at various times in various locations, but Lucia is like, nope, only ever seems to appear at midnight. Maybe there is an early morning one as well. Oh, yeah, that's why she's just, yeah, that's not even like the final thing. There's still the yellow one, or yeah, I think there's still yellow after that. But anyway, so yeah, I was assuming, although maybe this climactic fight isn't as climactic as I thought. I was thinking it was going to be. Maybe that's the whole issue. And people are complaining that, oh, well, no, the fight isn't fun, or the conclusion. Because, I mean, they were setting up saying, hey, you're going to be fighting... You're going to be fighting... you could be fighting the creator, so maybe they don't fight the creator, or maybe the fight with the creator is unresolved or something. So it's hard to say, really. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what people's complaints are. Is it? So if it was going to end there, like I would have been fine with ending there. I thought, oh, it was a nice little happy ending. And then I was just assuming that like the epilogue chapters, because in season 1 there were 2 epilogue chapters where we got a lot of shit about like Hugo and Vivian and stuff like that. And like they just did a lot of foreshadowing for future patches. So I was like, yeah, sure. Even if this conclusion isn't like amazing, it would still be, good enough. It would still be good enough, right? That it would have enough information. I thought it would be like, okay, yeah, that's the conclusion, and then the epilogue would be just like the setting up for the next season. But it seems like, no, there is going to be some big final conclusion. I assume, are we going to succeed? Maybe that's the whole thing, is maybe she will sacrifice herself and die at the end of this, and that's why people are so upset, is because we did this whole thing to save her, and then she ends up sacrificing herself in the end. Or maybe gets possessed by the creator or something, and like the creator uses the sword to possess her or something. And that's why people are so unsatisfied. It's like, oh yeah, all that effort to save her, and she gets fucked. Yeah, maybe that's it. Hard to say. Obviously, we'll wait to see how this shakes out. But yeah, I thought that would be it. And that's why I was resting. I was like, okay, I'll rest. I'll see the final cutscene for this patch, assuming that was going to be it. I was like, fuck, I should have just... I mean, it's fine to stop where I was, but like, God, honestly, I thought I was going to finish it yesterday, and then I played for an hour, and I still wasn't done, and I was like, okay, well, it's probably today, right? Like, Zhao Guang lost her senses, we already were like, setting up to be getting her senses back and shit. So I was like, okay, cool, like, that will be the conclusion, right? But no, it's like, yeah, we solved that, we resolved that issue, and now it's still like, oh fuck, there's still a final thing at the end, and that will still probably be another more hour on top of tomorrow. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in and spend that, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. I've been doing this, Jesus Christ, an hour and 40 minutes, fuck, and that's like, it's crazy, because I've been spending so much fucking time doing shit, right? I spent so much time doing all this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.